as you probably know, Merlin, our friend Merlin here, has been a big part of the Aurora Republic game and Star Citizen. And we do have a Discord channel for Star Citizen. And several weeks ago, we heard that Merlin basically announced that his wife had been hit by a car and run over by a car, and she's a rather tiny person, and that she was in the hospital in critical condition. And the first report was he didn't think she was going to make it. And here's the thing: so the Aurora project and the Stratosphere Lounge is almost a one-to-one overlay. Um, I'm glad to hear that, Foghorn. So he makes this announcement on Discord. I heard about it about 2-3 hours after it happened, and by the time I hear about it, our entire Discord channel is talking about nothing about it, nothing else about it, and Lisa, who's I really think is the most valuable player. Honestly, she never played video games in her life, but she's just been great. So Lisa and others, and Lisa starts organizing prayer groups and things like this, and everybody rallied and sent a lot of prayers and a lot of goodwill and a lot of talk with Merlin and keeping his chin up. It turns out that she got through the first night, and then the next day she was significantly better, and within 2 or 3 days, according to Merlin, people are just amazed at how quick her recovery had been. And I believe she was there last night at the Aurora Republic meeting that they had with Foghorn and a bunch of other people, because Foghorn said that she's a lovely person, and I'm sure she is. And I'm pretty sure I saw her because I did take a look at the little 360-degree camera view of of uh, of the gang, just panning around looking at people. So I think I saw her in the background. So if she was, oh, she was there, great. So the good news is she was able to go out last night with the gang and have pizza and beer or chicken wings or wherever the hell they were, and that is a pretty quick recovery for something that looked really, really scary in the beginning. But the reason I bring all of this up is, in the middle of this, want to say maybe the second day. This is well before she got out of the woods in terms of her condition. Merlin sent me a text and said, I've never met people like this. And I said something to the effect of, I've never met people like this either. I always make some kind of deprecating joke about that because the whole thing is so amazing to me. But I'm not going to do that here. I've never met people like this. Natasha's never met people like this. These are the best people I've ever met. The people who are Strata Loungers and members and Aurora Republic people and longtime fans, maybe not members, all of that. But this community is a pack and not a wolf pack because those are disgusting. But it's a group of people who have the two things that I talked to Scott about. I said, what are we selling here? And it occurred to me that there were two things, and I knew the first one, which was common sense, and common sense is deep wisdom. Common sense is not like intellectualism light; it's actual wisdom. So we're selling common sense. And then when we were talking, it was about when we were talking about the Ruth Bader Ginsburg thing, and we do our backstage show live. We don't do it live. We do the backstage show where we talk about what we're going to talk about. But needless to say, even before the backstage show starts rolling, we're talking to each other, getting ready, getting set up to do the backstage show. Then we shoot the other 4 right angles. And we were talking about this, and I realized that that we really meant it. That Steve and Scott and I were not just saying it because it was going out in the air and sounded good. We genuinely did not want any physical harm to come to that lady. We fervently would like her to leave the Supreme Court, and she's done an enormous amount of damage, but we're not the kind of people that want people to die because we disagree with them politically. That's largely the domain of the left. There's some people on the right as well, but in any event, we're not those people. And when you come up with something that sounds sympathetic or something to somebody like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, there's going to be people out there who are so wrapped up in the politics of it, they're going to be like, "Oh, you're sellouts. You have no idea what she's." Yes, I do have. I have a very good idea what she's done to the country. But there comes down to a point where it's just plain wrong, and that's when I realized that that's the second thing we're selling. This little studio produces common sense and decency. That's it. And common sense is a practical intelligence. I've said before, every now and then I get off a line that's really not too bad. But I've said, that intellectualism is intelligence that's been left in the back of the fridge for 10 months. And we have actual intelligence, and the people who are part of this pack are incredibly capable people. Burt Rutan, one of the most brilliant guys in the world, and Brent Regan, and all the rest of them. On and on and on and on, and this person, 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 but Foghorn, but Matt Lloyd, and this person, and so it all actually, works out as a general rule. But it is an astonishing group of people. It's a small group of people, and so to the degree that I actually have a business plan, my business plan is to let Scott handle most of the business. That's the genius of me at work here. But the business plan is to grow this family, because that's what it is. I think it's public now. It might have gone up today. Scott asked me some personal questions on the last Bill Whittle Now, and I talked about how heartbreaking it was to not be able to go to Thanksgiving anymore, because I would go and I wouldn't shoot at anybody. I had my guns in the holster the whole time. They kept poking me. It was pretty progressive liberals that were hosting this big Thanksgiving dinner for my entire life. It devolved onto them, and they just made it so uncomfortable for me I couldn't go back there. And I said it just broke my heart. It was just terrible. And that's when we were talking about it. And, it's an old saw, but it's true, you don't get to pick your family, but you do get to pick your friends. And we were talking about that, and it's like a family. And so also, as Scott pointed out too, the entire mission here is for me to try and find a way to boil down ideas that don't belong to me and never belong to me. The ideas are far older than me and going to last a lot longer than me. Try to find a way to express them in a way that people can understand it today, and then give that ammunition to you guys, and so that you can go out there and spread the word and so on. So I am hoping, and I'm not going to say hoping, because hoping is like trying. I want 5,000 members by the 4th of July, and I want 10,000 members by Christmas. That's a lift, but it's not a crazy lift. It's not impossible. With 5,000 members, we would be getting by. We could survive on that without any of the ad revenues, which get smaller and smaller and smaller. But 10,000 members, we would be prospering. And we're at the situation now where so many people find themselves, and that is that there's so much more we could do if we had the resources, but we can't get the resources until we do more. So 20 right angles, 20 Bill Whittle Nows, 4 firewalls, and an active website community, and in exchange for $9.95, which is 33 cents a day, I guess. It's significant money, and of all the people all the day-to-day things that I have to deal with members, the one that just breaks my heart is, and not just breaks my heart, it just makes me unbelievably proud. We lost a number of members because we had employed top-level cryptographers to make sure that no one could figure out how to give us any money. But that is behind us now, and so occasionally we'll get people who will say they have to cancel their membership because it's around 2,000. They have to cancel their membership because financial hardship or something. Scott told me about a letter from somebody who said they had to cancel because they had to move out of their apartment and going to be living in a garage or in a tent in the backyard of her sister. And so when I hear that, I just feel so I'm so moved by that. So Scott handled it, and he handled it exactly the way I would have handled it. And when I found out he did it, I knew that this was the guy who I really love and admire, and I need to be working with. So what Scott did is exactly what I would have asked him to do, which is, he said, we're gonna comp your membership for a year, and in a year let us know how you're doing, and if you're doing better, great. If not, then we'll comp it another year. We can't really do that for every single person, but this was somebody who wrote and wrote from the heart. I was in Carmel, and gift subscriptions, yes, lots of things. But I was in Carmel, and a gentleman up there had heard I was coming up and contacted the office and asked if it would be possible to chat for a little while afterwards. And it turns out that I always chat with everybody. I try to be the last person out of a room at a speaking event. Anyway, I went up there and I met this guy and his lovely daughter, who was in her, I want to say, early 20s, I guess. And he says that I'd really helped her in college, really rough for her. She was a conservative in college and stuff. And I thought, what a honest God pleasure and joy to meet these people. And I just felt so good about it, as I always do. And then I came home and I got a letter the next day, and it was from this guy, the father of this daughter, and he included a picture. Let me see if I have it. I must have it. This is worth it on the desktop. This is very much worth it. So give me a second. It's just these things. There it is. So here's the story. So this guy sent me this picture, and here's the story behind the picture. This young lady who I'd met, who was very lovely, had some extensive brain surgery. I don't know if it was brain cancer, but it was extensive, and it had really been touch and go for quite a while there. I'm just going to put tag on this, so it's